Ryan turns down his full 401k match. Daniel takes every single dollar of his. They both think they made a reasonable choice. But one of them just declined a raise he already earned, and the other locked up money he cannot touch for 30 years. And when you run the numbers all the way to retirement, the gap between them is not a rounding error. It is a second house. Let us keep this fair. Ryan and Daniel are both 30 years old. They both earn $60,000 a year. Same job title, same city, same rent, same starting balance in the bank. The only real difference is one decision they each make on their very first day at a new company. That company offers a 401k with an employer match. For illustration's sake, the plan matches $1 for every dollar you put in up to the first 5% of your pay. In the real world, most plans land somewhere around 4 to 6%, and the exact formula always depends on your employer. On a $60,000 salary, 5% is $3,000 a year. So if Daniel puts in $3,000, his employer drops in another $3,000 on top. $6,000 a year going into his account, and half of it is money he never had to earn twice. Daniel signs the form on day one. He sets his contribution to 5% and never thinks about it again. Ryan looks at the same form and says, "Not right now." His reasons sound completely normal. Money is tight. Rent went up. He wants the cash in his paycheck not locked in some account he cannot open until he is almost 60. He tells himself he will start next year once he gets a raise once things calm down. Every one of those reasons is true. That is what makes them so dangerous. Nobody skips their match because they are reckless. They skip it because rent is real, because the car needs tires, because next year always feels like a better time to start. The decision never feels like a decision. It feels like waiting. Ryan also tells himself he will just invest the money on his own, in his own account, on his own terms. It is a nice idea. But be honest about how often that actually happens. Cash that does not get swept into a retirement plan automatically tends to get spent automatically. Good intentions rarely beat a paycheck that already feels too small. So Ryan keeps his $3,000 a year in his own pocket. About $250 more in every monthly paycheck. It feels like a small win every single time he gets paid. Daniel never sees that $250. It leaves before it ever hits his checking account. Some months, honestly, it stings a little. At the office, the two of them even talk about it. Ryan mentions his bigger take-home pay, and a couple of coworkers nod along a little envious. Daniel just shrugs and changes the subject. Nobody at a lunch table is impressed by a 5% contribution. There is no story to tell, no gadget to show, nothing to post. Doing the smart thing here is completely invisible, and that is exactly why so few people do it. On day one, Ryan feels richer. He has more spending money, more flexibility, and no money trapped behind a 30-year wall. Daniel just has a smaller paycheck and a balance he is not allowed to spend. It does not feel close, but feelings and math are two very different things. Here is the part Ryan is not counting. That employer match is not a bonus. It is part of his pay that he is choosing to leave on the table. When Daniel puts in $3,000 and his employer adds $3,000, Daniel just earned an instant 100% return before the market does anything at all. There is no stock, no rental property, no side hustle that hands you a guaranteed 100% the moment you act. The match is the closest thing to free money that normal people will ever be offered. And Ryan is saying, no thanks. Think about what that actually means. If a stranger offered to hand you $3,000 every year, no strings attached, on the single condition that you also set aside $3,000 of your own into a retirement account, almost nobody would say no. But that is essentially the offer on the table, dressed up in boring paperwork and a payroll portal nobody wants to log into. The offer is the same. Only the packaging makes it easy to ignore. Let us run the clock. By the end of year one, Daniel has $6,000 in his account, give or take a little growth. Ryan has his $3,000 too, technically, except most of it quietly disappeared into dinners, a phone upgrade, and a long weekend trip. By December, maybe $500 of it is actually left. So the real year one scoreboard is not $3,000 versus $6,000. It is closer to $500 versus $6,000. And Ryan still feels like the relaxed one. By year three, the contrast gets sharper. Daniel has put in $9,000 of his own dollars, his employer has matched another $9,000, and at a steady return of around 7% a year, his balance is sitting near $20,000. Year three is also when Daniel crosses an important line. His employer match becomes fully vested, which simply means the matched money is now permanently his, even if he quits tomorrow. That detail matters, and we will come back to it. Ryan, meanwhile, has finally decided to start. Better late than never. He sets his contribution to 5%, and now he gets the match too. Good for him, but those first 3 years of free money are gone, and they are gone forever. You cannot go back and claim a match you skipped. By year 5, Daniel has a real head start. He has captured 5 full years of matching while Ryan captured 2. The dollar gap is a few thousand. That does not sound dramatic yet. But this is where most people stop thinking, and this is exactly where the math is about to get loud. Because the money Daniel collected early is not just sitting there, it is compounding. And compounding does almost nothing exciting for the first few years, then it quietly turns into the main event. Now, if I only showed you Daniel winning, I would be doing what every finance influencer does. So let us be honest about what Daniel actually gave up. Daniel lived on a smaller paycheck for years. That $250 a month was real. There were months he wanted it back. His money is also locked. If Daniel hits an emergency before age 59 and a half and pulls money out early, he gets hit with a 10% penalty from the government plus regular income tax on the amount. That is a brutal way to access your own savings. And his account is exposed to the market. In a bad year like 2008, a portfolio like his could drop around 37% on paper. In early 2020, the market fell over 30% in a matter of weeks. If Daniel panics and sells at the bottom, he can turn a paper dip into a permanent loss. There was even a year when Daniel's car died, and his roof started leaking in the same month. He looked at that growing balance and thought about rating it. If he had the penalty and the taxes would have eaten a painful chunk of it. Instead, he scraped through on a small emergency fund and left the retirement money alone. That restraint is not free either. It costs discipline and a few very stressful nights. So Daniel is not living a painless victory. He is trading flexibility, liquidity, and short-term comfort for long-term growth. He is paying with patience. Ryan, on the other hand, kept all of that flexibility. He had cash when he wanted it. He never watched his balance crash in a recession because he barely had a balance to watch. His cost is invisible, which is exactly why it is so dangerous. He is paying with the raise he turned down and the years of compounding he will never get back. By year 10, the invisible cost stops being invisible. Daniel has now contributed for 10 years and been matched for 10 years. With growth, his balance is somewhere around $85,000. Roughly half of that came from his own contributions. The other half came from the employer match and from compounding doing the heavy lifting. Ryan started 3 years late and has had a few more nervous stretches where he paused his contributions to free up cash. His balance is closer to $50,000. He is not broke. He is doing okay. He just quietly handed away tens of thousands of future dollars to feel a little richer in his 20s. The gap at year 10 is around $35,000. And almost none of that came from Daniel being smarter or earning more or picking better investments. It came from one boring habit. He took the free money early and left it alone. This is the quiet engine almost nobody feels working. For the first few years, compounding looks like nothing. A few $100s of growth barely noticeable. Then the gains start earning their own gains and the curve bends upward. By year 10, more of Daniel's growth each year comes from money he never deposited than from money he did. He is not working harder. His early dollars are simply working longer. Now let us stretch this all the way out because retirement is the whole point. Fast forward to age 60. 30 years of contributions, 30 years of matching for the years they each participated, and a long, patient stretch of compounding. Daniel, who captured the full match from day one and rarely interrupted it, is sitting on a retirement balance in the range of $600,000 under these illustrative assumptions. A large chunk of that total is pure employer match and the growth on top of it. In other words, a huge slice of Daniel's retirement was funded by money he never had to produce from his own salary. Sit with that for a second. A meaningful share of Daniel's retirement was built by his employer, and by time, not by extra hours or a higher salary. He did not out-earn Ryan. He simply refused to leave the free portion behind. Ryan, who started late and paused a few times, lands somewhere in the range of $400,000. Still a real number, still respectable, but the distance between them is roughly $200,000. $200,000 for the same salary, the same career, the same market. The difference was almost entirely the free match and the time it had to grow. That is the part that should make your stomach drop. Ryan did not lose that money in a crash or a bad bet. He declined it politely $250 at a time. So is taking the match always the obvious move? Almost always, yes. But let us be fair about the exceptions because they are real. If you are drowning in high-interest credit card debt, charging you 20% or more, throwing every dollar at that debt first can beat almost anything. If you have zero emergency savings and one flat tire away from disaster building, a small cash cushion first is reasonable. And if you are about to leave a job before the match vests, the math gets more complicated because unvested match money can be clawed back when you go. Vesting is worth understanding here. Your own contributions are always 100% yours from the start, but the employer match can come with a schedule sometimes a few years before that matched money is fully yours to keep. Leave too early and you can forfeit the part that was not yet vested. It is one of the few cases where simply staying put has a clear dollar value. The point is not that the match is magic in every single case. The point is that turning it down by accident out of habit or because the paperwork felt annoying is one of the most expensive small decisions in personal finance. Ryan and Daniel both walked into the same building on the same day with the same offer on the table. One treated the match as part of his pay, the other treated it as optional. Neither of them sat down and actually mapped out what that choice was worth over 30 years. The real trap is not the stock market, and it is not your salary. The real trap is treating free money as something you will get around to later, while every later paycheck quietly closes the window a little more. Picture it from the other direction. If Ryan's boss had walked up and said, "I am cutting your pay by $3,000 a year," Ryan would have been furious. He might have started looking for another job. Yet, by skipping the match, he did almost the same thing to himself year after year and felt good about it every single payday. A pay cut you choose still spends like a pay cut. So the next time someone tells you they cannot afford to contribute to their 401k, ask them one gentle question. Are you keeping cash you can spend today, or are you turning down a raise you already earned? Because the raise you turn down does not show up on any statement. It just shows up decades later as the money that was never there. And if you are wondering what happens when someone captures the full match and invests on top of it outside the retirement account, that is a completely different calculation and the numbers get even harder to ignore.